Hi, and welcome to my channel, Shades of Sage, where I discuss all things motherhood. My name is Tashima, I'm a doula and mama of 4, and today we're going to be talking about my pregnancy regrets or my labor and delivery regrets. Now, I got this idea for a video from another channel, another mom that I follow here on YouTube, and her channel is Pregnancy and Postpartum TV. Her name is Jessica. She is a registered dietitian, and she does a whole bunch of exercises for moms on their postpartum, prenatal exercises, a lot of pregnancy support videos, and it's just a really cool and awesome channel. So if you're interested in that kind of content, I will leave her channel information below. But I totally got this idea from her, and I really enjoyed watching her video, and I figured it would be a good video for me to recreate. So that is what we're going to talk about today. I just want to say that I am grateful for each and every one of my children, but if I had to do certain things over again, these are some of the things that I would change. The first thing that I regret, or that I kind of wish that I had been able to experience, is a home birth or a birth with just a midwife and a birthing center. So my first pregnancy went great until about like week 30 around, and I delivered around week 33. So it was a premature birth. I had preeclampsia. There a whole bunch of things happened. If you want more details on that, you can check out my birth stories and my experience being a NICU mom. But because that was my first pregnancy, it set me up for all of my other pregnancies. I was high risk, so I wasn't really in a position where I could have had a midwife just totally overseeing my pregnancy. It always had to be overseen by an OBGYN, which meant, delivering in a hospital. I also had a C-section for my first birth, and then I had 2 VBACs, so 2 vaginal births after that. And my last birth was a C-section as well. And so just due to all of my history and all of the things that I was at risk for, all of my pregnancies were considered high risk, and I was not able to have like that really low-key, hands-off, low-risk pregnancy, birth and delivery. So that's one of the things that I regret. I really wanted a home birth for my last birth, and it just it did not happen. But I wish I could have experienced that personally. Now, my other sisters don't have children yet, so I'm kind of hoping that one of them, or maybe a few of them, will take a more holistic and natural route when it comes to their pregnancies, and maybe I can be a doula for them and deliver with them at a birthing center or even at home. Like, I would love that so much. I still want that experience as a doula. As of yet, I haven't had that personal experience of having a client who delivered in a birthing center or at home, but I would love to experience that since I myself couldn't experience it, and I don't plan on having any more children. So that's one of my pregnancy or birth regrets. If you hear any noise, it's baby Asa on the floor playing. He's supposed to be asleep. Yeah. But anywho, another one of my regrets as far as delivery or post-delivery goes is I did not keep my placenta for Saya and Matthias. So those were my first 2 births. Saya was my first birth, and Matthias was my second birth. So I didn't really know that much about placentas when I gave birth to them, but I did some more research, and I kept my placenta for my 3rd child, so for Kenzo, and I kept my placenta for Asa. Now, I'm not one of those people who wanted to eat my placenta, which I don't recommend, and there's reasons why I don't recommend it. So if you're interested in that, I can definitely do a video about what the placenta does and what its function is and why it's really a waste product. So it's not something that I kept because I wanted to eat. It's something that I kept because it's mine. My body grew it. It supported me with my pregnancy. It supported my baby. It sustained their life. And honestly, we don't know what the hospitals do with our placentas, especially as Black women, if you know our history. And so I was not giving them anything else out of me. So I wanted to keep my baby's placentas. I have yet to do something with them though, but my plan is to plant them. I wanted to plant them for my children, and I just really wish, this one really bothers me. It really does. I really wish I had Saya's and Matthias's, because they all could have a plant. But I kept my other 2. I do have them, and I plan on planting them, either making a tree with them or an aloe vera plant, something that just continually gives, because yeah, it kept our babies alive, and it's really, to me, it's really special. It's really sentimental, and yeah, I wish I had the other 2. So another thing that I kind of regret as far as pregnancy goes is my spacing of my kids. So I had pretty much all of my kids back to back. I have been pregnant for the last 6 years or so with not too much of a break in between. The shortest was 5 months, I don't recommend that. And the longest break I had was 18 months. So yeah, it was a lot. It is still a lot. Just, you know, having a baby and then recovering from that and then getting pregnant with another baby and dealing with that, because if you know, some of my history, I have really hard pregnancies. In addition to them being high risk, I also suffer HG, which is really, really bad, really extreme morning sickness. So, you know, taking care of children and then having to sustain that pregnancy with the morning sickness throughout the whole entire pregnancy is a lot. It was a lot. And also I'm a breastfeeding mom, so you know, I breastfeeded for at least a year, and I don't use bottles or anything like that, so the baby is constantly around me, constantly attached to me, and it's just a lot because I have other children to take care of. With my first time mom, I didn't have all the demands on my time that I do have now, and I definitely would not recommend having children back to back unless you're in a special circumstance where, you know, maybe you're having children later on in life and you know you want to have a certain amount of kids and you don't want to go past a certain age. Then maybe, you know, you have to do it back to back. Or if you're younger or whatever and you know you want a lot of kids, then obviously you might have to have some back to back if you want to end at a certain age or whatever. But I don't recommend it. It was a lot on my body as far as recovery goes, especially because I've had C-sections, so healing from that alone is a lot. And then, like I said, with the breastfeeding, so my shortest space or my shortest gap was 5 months postpartum. So I was 5 months postpartum when I got pregnant with my third, which meant I was nowhere near recovered from that birth. Even though I did have a vaginal birth, which, you know, woohoo, I'm super, you know, grateful about that. I was nowhere near ready to be pregnant. So here I am breastfeeding a baby that's only 5 months old, still recovering from the birth of him, and then being pregnant, which puts bigger demands on your body, especially nutritionally. Like, I had to make sure that I ate enough for my growing baby and enough for the baby that I was breastfeeding. And then of course I had my toddler Saya, who was only 2.5 years old at the time, and then I had other things going on in my personal life, and it was just so much. It was just too much. I don't recommend having babies back to back. It's just, it's a lot. It's hard on your body. So that is one thing I regret, is that I wish that my spacing was at least 2 years in between each child, where I could, you know, kind of recover, you know, and breastfeed for those 2 years, and then, you know, try to get pregnant after that, and then have that at least that additional 9 months to prepare that other child and myself and my body for the next baby. So yeah, if I had to do that again, definitely would make sure that those gaps in space was in there for each child. So another thing that I regret, which actually the lady that I got this video from, she mentioned this too, is not getting professional photos done. Now, I took a lot of pictures throughout my pregnancies, and I did, you know, have like photo shoots that I did myself, and I do think they came out well. But just really, you know, sometimes I'm on Facebook or Instagram and I'm looking at people's like professional photos from someone that really has like a really good camera and like really good background and different sceneries and different dresses and things that you can wear for your, you know, to accentuate your bump and things like that. Like, I really wish that I had gotten those done. And like I said, I have 4 children and I don't plan on having any more children. I think 4 is enough. And so I kind of missed out on having like really nice photos done while I was pregnant. Even with me and the other children, like I said, I took a lot of pictures, so I have it all documented and I have them to look back on. And I do love the pictures that I took, but I just wish I could have went that extra level. And it is an investment, but if you can afford it, if you had the extra money in your budget, definitely get them done, because you won't regret it. Like, if you get some really nice photos, and even like newborn photos, you know, like while they're still really little and sleepy and kind of still a little crunched up and balled up, those are so cute too. I've seen some really cool ones where people had them like with a bonnet on. Well, if you have a girl, with like a little bonnet on, and just like little heels or whatever, and they're sitting in a chair, making it look like they're doing adult things, but obviously they're babies. I love those. So yeah, that's something that I wish I would have done while I was pregnant with my baby. So yeah, kind of really wish I had did that one. That one makes me a little sad. And then the last thing for this video that I want to mention, and this one is a little bit silly, but I had planned for my last pregnancy to do one of those belly casts. and I never got around to it. And for my last pregnancy, I had a lot of weird symptoms. I documented my whole pregnancy on this channel, so if you want to, you know, refresh your memory if you've seen them already, or if you're new to my channel, definitely check them out. But I had a lot of weird symptoms this time, and one of them was I didn't like things touching my stomach. Like, it just made me feel weird and icky and yucky. So I didn't like things touching my stomach. And so towards the end, now with the belly cast, you kind of want to wait until your stomach is like as big as it's going to get and do it, you know, like before you deliver. So for my pregnancies anyway, my belly didn't really get that big, so I knew I had to wait almost until the very end. And my birth was kind of sudden, so that kind of factored into it a little bit. But honestly, at the end, I was just kind of over it, like over the pregnancy itself, just over pregnancy and being pregnant. And I also was looking up ways to do it, and I just didn't, at the end, I didn't want to be bothered with it. I do wish I had did it though, because I feel like it would have been really cool to just have like that fake plaster, you know, bump of my belly with my last baby. I feel like that would have been a really, really cool keepsake. And I've seen some people like paint theirs or have like their children sign their names on it, or have like some people like put theirs up on a wall or put theirs in the nursery with their baby. So it's something that you would keep forever. But again, it's like a plaster, kind of like if you made like a paper mache balloon. That's kind of the same idea behind the belly molding thing. But I didn't find enough information and enough time, and then I didn't want to do it. So, or I didn't want the material on my belly. Like, you have to put it on, and obviously it's wet when you put it on, and then you have to sit still, and then it has to harden and dry, and then you take it off, you know, once it's completely molded. I don't know, it just really seemed messy. Maybe if I had someone do it for me, I might have done it. I don't know. It's something that I wanted to do during my pregnancy, but I just didn't do it. So yeah. And then the last one, which is not really a regret, but kind of just something that I wish wouldn't have happened, or that I didn't have to experience, is my C-section. So because my first birth ended in a C-section due to failure to progress, and like I said, I had preeclampsia, so I was getting really sick really fast, and it was affecting me and my baby's health, so they had to get the baby out as quickly as possible. You know, just because of that, it kind of like set the stage, like I was saying before, for all my other pregnancies, and just made certain things harder throughout my pregnancies, and then of course when it came time to deliver. So I just wish overall that I didn't have to experience having a C-section. Now, you know, both of my C-sections were necessary, and I'm very grateful to them for them, because I wouldn't have had, my babies wouldn't be here without them, or I might not be here without the C-sections. But I still do wish that I hadn't needed them. Like my mom, you know, my parents have 10 children, and she never needed a C-section, so I never thought I would have a C-section, and I didn't know anyone personally that had a C-section. So when I did have to have one, it was like, you know, why me? Why is this happening to me? I have no experience with this. And then, you know, just having to deal with healing, and then having a baby in the NICU, like, it was just so much. It was so traumatic, my first one. Now my last was not traumatic, but the recovery has been traumatic. Yeah, the recovery has been traumatic. And so even though both of my C-sections were necessary, and even though I'm grateful for both of them, I still kind of wish that it hadn't happened, or that I hadn't needed to have one. So that is just, you know, one of those things that, I don't know. I'm very grateful, like I said, for my births. I'm very grateful for my children, and I'm very grateful that C-sections exist and that I'm still here and everything like that. But I just wish that I could have had all vaginal births. And if you're a C-section mom, I know maybe you can relate to this feeling also as well. But I had to be grateful because, like I said, everyone made it here safely. And I did get to experience vaginal births 2 times, and both without epidural. So, you know, I'm super proud of myself for that. So I have experienced both. But yes, that is my last little thing. And like I said, I don't want to even say it's a regret. It's just something that I wish didn't happen or didn't need to happen. But overall, I'm very happy with my pregnancies. Let me scratch that. My pregnancies were not fun. That throwing up every day, all day, that was not fun. I'm very happy with my deliveries and the way that they turn out. They taught me so much, especially as a doula. I can share, on this channel my experience with other moms out there, and I can share, my experience with my clients as well. So it's made me very versatile. It's made me very knowledgeable on different things, and I just love the whole birth world and the work, and it's just made me more compassionate for other women who have different experiences that are different than mine. So those are my pregnancy and delivery regrets. If you're watching this video and you are a mom or a mom to be, or you're currently pregnant, share with me in the comments down below maybe something that you regret or you wish was different, or something that you wish you had done while you were pregnant, or maybe even during delivery. But just remember, every story is beautiful, every story is your own, and at the end of the day, all that matters is you and your baby making it here safely. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give me a great big thumbs up. Let me get this one to bed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you're not already. Remember to let your story be your power, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.